Well, James Olley and Rodrigo Faez here to talk about Jude Bellingham winning the midfielder category. Rodrigo, just if you can, just sum up Jude Bellingham's season for Real Madrid. Just how pivotal has he been for them?
Hi there, James. Thanks for having me, first of all. Secondly, I think it's more than deserved award for Jude Bellingham, because first of all, I think that maybe this second season at Real Madrid was not the best one since he arrived last season, because I do believe that the first one was a bit better. But at the end of the day, in a weird, really strange season for Real Madrid, because they were not at the level that everyone expected, he was one of the few players that was up there. His personality, his character, the way he moved in the midfielder, trying to attack, trying to defend, helping some other teams in order to improve them at the same time is like, I think it's a good season for him. And when you ask, first of all, the teammates, and secondly, the Madridistas around the stadium, all of them, if you tell them to choose the three best Real Madrid players of this season so far, they always put Jude Bellingham up there. So that's why, again, I do believe that is not his best season at Real Madrid, because I do believe that the first one was even better. But this season, he has been performing at a great level.
And his role has changed a bit in his time at Real Madrid, hasn't it? I mean, I remember talking to Gareth Southgate about him last summer when obviously he was playing more as a striker or as a second striker for Real Madrid, and obviously he's gone back into a sort of more orthodox midfield role. I mean, how have you sort of seen the evolution in his game over those two seasons, particularly this season when he's been playing in what I guess would be more a familiar role for him?
In the first season when he landed to Madrid, he was more a proper striker, or a second striker at least, because there was a lack of attackers for Real Madrid after Karim Benzema's departure to Saudi Arabia. So he had to be a more attacking profile for Real Madrid midfield. We already know that. But in this second season, Ancelotti wanted him to be a little more at the back, trying to be alongside Camavinga, Tchouaméni, trying to help to get the ball to Vinicius, and indeed Mbappe, because as long as Mbappe went up to Real Madrid, he didn't have the need to be the second main striker. On the other hand, we know that Jude Bellingham likes a lot to be box-to-box midfielder. So that's why mostly in the second half of the season, he wanted to score. He was up there in order to help Real Madrid to score, because there was a need for Real Madrid to win the games, and he helped them a lot. So that's why I think in this second season, he was a more complete player. He was a more helping player for Vinicius, for Rodrigo, and indeed for Kylian Mbappe. And even when you talk about Jude Bellingham with Kylian Mbappe's encouragement, they always say, if Kylian Mbappe was at this level in the last 2, 3, 4, 5 months at Real Madrid, it was thanks to Jude Bellingham's work, which is something that Ancelotti and the rest of the squad always prioritize much more than the first season goals.
We've seen more England internationals leave the Premier League and go abroad. It has happened more often in recent seasons than maybe it did sort of 10 or 15 years ago. But do you think he's sort of regarded up there alongside Mbappe, so some of the real world stars? Do you think he really is in that echelon now, or has he still got a little bit of a distance to travel given how young he is?
Well, I think he's going to stay like this. I mean, let's see what happens with Xabi Alonso, because it's going to be a new system. The tactics are going to be completely different. But I do believe that Jude Bellingham is more than ready for what Real Madrid or for what the world of football are waiting for. I mean, he is ready for anything. I remember one chat that we had with Carlo Ancelotti regarding Jude Bellingham's role at Real Madrid, and he always replied the same. You can put him as a striker, second striker, as an attacking midfielder, or even a little bit at the back in the same line, but he's going to work out perfectly for the team. And this is something that only Jude Bellingham can achieve now at Real Madrid, because if you compare Jude Bellingham to Tchouaméni or to Camavinga, these roles are completely different. Jude Bellingham, when he signed for Real Madrid, he was seen by Real Madrid board as a 10-year differential signing for Real Madrid. They do believe that he's going to be generational for these youngsters. And indeed, he's very, very young, but he looks like a veteran. He looks like he has been playing for Real Madrid for more than 10 years. And that is something important that only Jude Bellingham can achieve in less than 2 seasons at Real Madrid. So that's why I'm pretty sure that he, alongside with Mbappe, is going to be the present, but also the future for the club.
Part of the process for this voting obviously included the Euros last summer. We should just touch on that, and obviously England's run to the final. I mean, it wasn't a great run in terms of the style of football. They kind of were criticised almost every round. It seemed as though they were going to go out almost in every round, and yet they found a way through. Obviously, Jude Bellingham produced one of the defining moments of that run for England with that overhead kick against Slovakia, which it just sort of typified how the truly great players can come up with a moment of magic, even in a game where they're not playing well, the team's not playing well. And I thought this, the Who Else celebration, a real kind of iconic moment that really, I think, revealed some of the pressure that he feels, that the focus that he has on him. And it'd be interesting from an England perspective about how Thomas Tuchel uses him going forward, because I think Southgate always kind of struggled to get him in, really. He'd sort of planned almost without a Bellingham kind of emerging into the team, and how he changed from sort of 4-3-3 to 4-2-3-1 to then going to a back three during the Euros last summer to try and kind of find the best system to accommodate these players. My understanding is that Tuchel's quite keen to try him as a more of a second striker alongside Kane going forward. I don't think we'll necessarily see that in the friendlies and the friendly against Senegal and the game against Andorra coming up. But I think maybe later on, as he's starting to build towards next summer, I think that's something that he'd like to try. You mentioned Rodrigo Alonso there. I mean, have we got any indication yet about how he might feature, Jude, in Alonso's system?
Not really, to be honest, because depending on what source you talk to, all of them are saying regarding this new role of Jude Bellingham with Xabi Alonso. It depends. Some people say that he's going to be in the same role, but also we have to take in mind that Xabi Alonso plays with 3 at the back, 3 center backs with 2 wingers, and then some people in the midfield. I do believe that he's going to be more as a proper midfielder, not like the role that he had before with Carlo Ancelotti, because Carlo Ancelotti used him as a second striker, depending on the part of the game and the need of the games. But I think he's going to be a little bit at the back. This is something that, at the end of the day, is not going to condition him because we know him that he really likes to step on the rival's box. And I think he's going to be key for the attacking role in Real Madrid. But at the same time, at the starting of the game, in the tactics, the proper tactics, is going to be more in that line of 3-4, depending on what Xabi Alonso decides at the end of the day. We're going to see them, and I think that these doubts are going to be solved in the Club World Cup, because Xabi Alonso is going to use that Club World Cup as a pre-stage, and he's going to prove a lot of things. And one of those things that he's going to prove is Jude Bellingham's roles at the midfield. And I think that he's going to be like more in the creative area of the midfield, but he's going to be in attacking as well as he did in Real Madrid and indeed for England.